War is raging, government is stealing our freedom, food processing plants are burning, and gun sales are through the roof. You're in the right place. This is The Prepared Mind.
Fake carrots. Fake fruit. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar! You liar!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Prepared Mind channel. Sorry I didn't get out of Zero Dark 30 this morning. I woke up zero dark with a splitting headache. So bad I was dizzy. I was like, that's it. Time out. Gonna take the morning off. Woo! It's something special. But I tell you what we can't do is we cannot take a time out from SHTF. We can't. It's coming. It's coming straight ahead. And as Chin Music wrote to me today, he says, what the fuck did he say? You got to laugh or you'll cry as the Republic falls. Something like that. Or maybe I can find something he said, something I said. Anyways, let's put all that aside. Let's just go right to the facts. Right to the facts. New York Community Bank Corp on the New York Stock Exchange was halted. Their trading was halted today. Why? Because that bank is failing, folks. We haven't even got to this deadline, this mystery deadline that's just out of reach on the date. I think it's March 11th. We're supposed to see some calamity coming, but it's already here. And what interests me about these, when the stock exchange decides to halt trading, is because the value of something is collapsing. Funny how they never stopped the collapse of the gold or silver price. Well, that can collapse like a motherfucker. They couldn't give a shit about that. But, we can't have other things collapse. Good golly, no. What they do, though, when they halt, is I'm pretty sure they pick up the phone. They're like, okay, shut down the trading on New York Bank Corp. And they call their friends, and they're like, hey, friends number 1, 2, and 3. That's right, New York Bank Corp is going down. We halted the trading, so you can tell me how many shares you want to dump at a higher price, and we'll open trading. Make sure you get your money, and then we'll fuck everyone else. That's how I see it happening, folks. Not that I'm an incurable pessimist, but I just see normal investors always getting screwed over. The entire stock market is teetering, folks, but they need to keep it up with printing. They really do. They'll keep it from dying and crashing too much because they need confidence to, be somewhat there. But they don't mind fleecing the fuck out of people. They'll give you a good haircut, a good shearing. But yeah, that's how it works. Now, let's move on, if we shall, to the mainstream media on this What the Fuck Wednesday. I've talked about this idiot before. Her name is Joy Reid. She works for MSNBC. And Joy Reid has culturally appropriated blonde hair. I take great offense at Joy Reid's looks. She is a black woman with short, straight, blonde hair. Serious cultural appropriation. Anyways, I actually couldn't give a fuck. But Joy Reid does claim that you, Republican voters, you are out there and you know why you're voting. I didn't know this, but Joy Reid is incredibly brilliant. That's right. She knows why you are voting, and it is to, quote, drive all the blacks out of the colleges. I just had a palm, fucking. How did she? Voting is done so that we can kick black people out of colleges. It's so hard to fathom where they get this shit. Well, because because a black communist lying sack of female media shit, she knows what all freedom-loving Republicans think, right? Whether the Republicans are black or white, doesn't matter. She knows exactly what they're thinking. And when I go to vote, it's because I want black people out of college. That is how what the fuckish they are between their ears. That's the strange world they live in. Literally, the strange world they live in. And I want to give you some more mainstream media insight. If a bank is failing, if a corporation is failing, if the government is pushing this or asking for that or demanding this other thing, the news is nothing but propaganda. And that is not news to you. I understand. But you and I need to be telling other people these things. Just go to your friends and say, dude, this ridiculous chick on MSNBC said that when you vote, it's to kick people, black people specifically, out of college. I didn't know my voting did that. I didn't know that's why I vote. Anyways, remember this guy named Dan Rather? I used to call him Dan Blather. He is the godfather of fake news. I mean, he's not just a biased news guy. He's not just, leaning to the left. He's not just a small propagandist. He is the godfather of bullshit and lies. Dan Blather. He is now condemned mainstream media's neutrality. Mainstream media is neutral, and Dan Blather is not happy about it. I can't tell you the last time I can remember that mainstream media was neutral. Somewhere in the 70s, maybe? Growing up, I was not misled. I was not fooled by Dan Blather or Peter Jennings or Tom Brokaw. Those are the three big boys from the 1980s. Tom Brokenjaw on NBC and Dan Blather on CBS and Peter Jennings in ABC. I still don't know why Peter Jennings was the news guy. He's from fucking Canada. I mean, if he gave us snow cone reports and fucking Eskimo updates and shit, I could see that. Not that I don't love Canadians, but I love making fun of Peter fucking Jennings. Anyways, Dan Blather Rather was removed. No. He was fired from his position. And then he became one of these online reporters, one of us little blogger types. But he was questioned about his lies. And he said they were true. But they were proven to be lies. And he was fired, folks. And now he's insisting at this time in history, he's insisting reporters abandon any pretense of neutrality. Quit pretending to be neutral. Quit pretending to read the news. Just go right out there and hammer them with your communist dogma. That's right. The father of lies, Dan Rather. He's not Satan, but he is certainly a soldier of evil, right? He is insisting, Dan Blather is, that all mainstream media challenge President Trump's statements instantly, immediately, and publicly. Now, what I want to say at this point is they're no longer hiding it. They're not even pretending. They're telling each other not to hide it. They're saying attack instantly. Do you, Mr. and Mrs. America, do you now have enough information to understand who opposes freedom in our country and our American constitutional republic and who supports our country, freedom, our republic? I think it comes down to that. There is no neutrality. You either support our Constitution or you're the enemy of the country. And us or them, that's right. Oh, isn't that a logical fallacy? Only two choices? Well, It used to be the media pretended to be Switzerland. You've got your left-wing Democrat scumbag, hippie, hate America types. And then you've got conservative libertarians who typically march under the Republican banner, who love our country, freedoms, constitutional republic, culture, traditions, and laws. Right? The media, nope, they are now part of the evil side. We are under real, folks, threat, imminent danger, and we're losing our very last hold, right? We're hanging on by our fingertips. This election is our last hold on freedom. So that's why I've been saying prep to action, right? Fight now, fight with free speech, or you're going to have to fight later with guns and blood. And as many of us believe, it's going to actually be both. The left wing is not going to go away. They're going to keep lying, keep cheating, keep stealing, keep shitting on us. There's no way to get rid of them. They are a parasite on society. They're a parasite on civility. And that's where we're at, folks. Get your questions down below. I'm going to be here talking to you guys. I'll do my monologue, then we'll pick up your questions in the second half. Now, I was talking about this guy named Barbecue the other day. Barbecue, that sounds like a character from Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, you got Barbecue and Taserface over there. Or maybe Barbecue could be the name of a World Wrestling Federation guy, right? Yeah, one of those guys, right, with the fake name. Yeah, Hulk Hogan and Barbecue. Nope, sorry, folks. The rebel leader, Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier. That's right, Barbecue down in Haiti is demanding that the Prime Minister, Henry, he wants the Prime Minister to resign. And he is Barbecue. He is threatening genocide on the nation of Haiti. It is violence plagued. It is a criminal shithole. And guess what? The Prime Minister of Haiti has finally shown his face. He's finally come out, I guess, with Punxsutawney Phil, but not in Haiti. No, the leader of Haiti is in Puerto Rico. What a brave leader he is, huh? What a brave man. How amazingly brave of him. See, that's when you know you don't have a leader, folks. A leader goes down with the ship. The captain goes down with the ship. You're in charge of it. While you're in charge of it, you go down with it. This is what we've got for leadership. That's why if there are any CEOs or super billionaires selling off their stocks, it's to buy and put themselves in a better position. Whether it's to get some cash together to buy what you used to own super cheap, or they're going to buy gold, or they're going to buy themselves a nice bunker, but not where the problems are at. That's right. They don't want to have their bedroom right next to the barbecue, if you understand what I'm getting at. They sell out and they move along. They hide. But don't worry, as soon as times are good, they'll come back. They'll take charge. They'll take all the money and fuck you over too. Now, this is interesting, kind of as a supplemental story to the story of the barbecue that is happening, going to happen, and going to get nasty in Haiti. In fact, I want to ask you this question. Do you see a similarity between Haiti and the United States of America? I do. Our leaders are fucking cowards. I see a huge similarity. Gang lords and gang leaders can use violence because government is cowardly. Government is chicken shit. Government will come after me and you one at a time and threaten us for taxation, for property tax, for car registration. They'll take your job. They'll do a number of things to screw us over, but When it comes right down to it, when it comes to real violence, take a look back at 2020. Oh, these protesters, we can't do anything about them. There we are. So let's get and move on to Mitch McConnell, talking about a chicken shit leader who never really led, who is now jumping ship. He won't go down with it. Mitch McConnell, though, has decided to endorse President Trump shortly after Nikki Haley. Nikki the Rhino Haley. Nikki the Rhino, not American Republican candidate. Nikki Haley has suspended. I didn't hear that she forfeited, that she quit or anything. And by the way, she did not endorse Trump. Nikki Haley left the presidential race, and shortly thereafter, Mitch McConnell endorsed President Trump. Why? Why would he need to endorse Trump? He spent his entire, last 8 years fighting Trump, shitting on Trump, backstabbing Trump, crapping on Trump, publicly, privately, in Congress, in committee, behind closed doors, fuck it, out in front of people. Why would he now endorse Trump? What did he buy with that endorsement? What does he think he bought? Does Mitch McConnell think that on his way out the door, he says, hey, by the way, that Trump guy, he's an okay person. What does he think he's going to get our forgiveness, that we're going to forget what a turd he is, that he's enriched himself at our expense? Fucking leaders my ass. And then there are these people who aren't quite leaders, but they're certainly not followers. They fall right into that what the fuck zone I'm talking about today. There is a boxing star, rising star, Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has recently run into interference with his social media, his bank account, he claims. His life is being interfered with, so he can't take care of his business. His ex-wife, the ex-wife of Ryan Garcia, says he's not a bad person. He's not full of shit. He's not making this up. He needs help. There's a problem going on out there. And what is he doing? What is he saying? Well, to the shock and awe of everyone, Ryan Garcia is claiming elite child trafficking is real and happening. He claims that he was held down and forced to watch the sexual rape of children, that he was in some sort of forest where powerful people were letting him know how the world works, right? It kind of smacks or has the suggestion of Bohemian Grove, if you will. Perhaps he was asked to show up there and told, you can be a superstar. You can be famous. We'll make you rich. But you have to understand who the boss is. You have to understand what the world's really about. You have to play the game with us. So they held him down and forced him to watch ritual sexual abuse of children, which is just an amazingly bizarre, what the fuck kind of claim. But do we or do we not now have enough evidence to suggest that it's very likely this happened 100% with the Jeffrey Epstein, Jizzy Maxwell, Little St. James, Lolita Express, that, Supreme Court justices, President Clinton, President Hillary, who knows who else went down to this island and other places like it. In any event, folks, it certainly fit into the what the fuck shit is it the fan Wednesday news. Unbelievable. Just put that in your pipe and smoke it. Think about it. Think about it. And then something else happened today. Folks, it has been an amazing WTF Wednesday. President Trump. Here's the headline. Are you ready for this? Oh, by the way, I sure hope you've got your food. Long-term food storage, water. Sure hope you have water. Way to purify water. Filter water. Okay. clothing, shelter, medicine, means of self-defense, and your plan for the 10 miles around your house, where your bunker or your home is. Know the area, know the demographics, know the people, know the resources. Now, this headline got me. President Trump met Elon Musk in secret. Now, I'm like, wait a minute. If he met him in secret, why am I hearing about it? I'm not one of these YouTubers who has a super secret inside squirrel that tells me stuff, right? No, I don't have that. I'm not the American prepper, or I'm not grid down super duper prepper. I'm just John. But we have been on here 10 fucking years plus talking about shit hitting the fan. And I see this as a very interesting WTF moment. President Trump has met with Elon Musk, as the showdown is going to be between Biden and Trump. The Bidens don't want to let go of power, but Joe is failing fast. It's been predicted by none other than JP Morgan Bank's analysts. They said, hey, Biden's out after Super Tuesday, which was yesterday, and Trump swept the floor with what was left of the Republican candidates. It's his. But Joe Biden, it's now time for him. Now, there were two things that popped into my head when I heard that Trump met with Elon Musk. And I didn't really give a shit whether it's secret or not, because it's not a fucking secret anymore. Number one, what is more likely? I'm going to give you a choice of two conspiracy theories. Number one, Elon Musk is a potential vice presidential candidate. Maybe Uman can take a poll of those who want to respond in the comments section with one. If you put the number one, it means you think he's a presidential candidate. If you put the number two, it means you believe that Musk is going to provide Starlink internet service for people in America when Biden shuts down the internet because he's losing the election and the Democrats are going to lose control. So those are my two conspiracy fun theories on this meeting with Trump and Elon Musk. Or could it be both? That's number three. Oh, man, when you take one conspiracy theory, combine it with another, and then you add them together, and 1 + 2 is 3, this is just all starting to make sense. And I got to tell you what, inside the hollow moon is where they're going to be operating Starlink from. Anyways, enough of that. And I sent the picture of Elon Musk and President Trump for the thumbnail for the video, and it's a good one. They both have the exact same expression, head tilt, angle, all that shit. We'll see. What do you think, though? VP going to provide Starlink? Now remember, Starlink is the internet communication sky-based system that Musk sent and loaned to the U.S. government and the Ukraine military. That's right. The Ukraine military for the war over there. Crazy, folks. Crazy. Let me catch my breath. It just is. It just, now, it's unbelievable. We have 10 to 15 million illegals that have come into this country. Most of them are men. Yes, there are some women and some children. Most of them are men. And most of those men, a huge percentage of them, are between the ages of, 15 and 30. That's military grade age there. So let's just say 15 million illegals. We'll go on the tall side of the number. That gives us at least 10 million military-aged men. Not just from Mexico, folks. Not just from Central America or South America. Try the worst parts of Africa, meaning northern Sahara. Not sub-Saharan, but northern Saharan. How about Middle Eastern countries? How about Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan? How many stands? Kyrgyzstan. Get this, folks. We got all these people here. And MSNBC had a political panel put together. Don't worry, they were not neutral at all. Instead, they were completely left, just as Dan Blather recommended. And they are laughing at you and laughing at the idea that illegal immigration is a top concern for us. They think it's stupid to have that as a top concern. What's our top concern if it's not that? Our top concern must be abortion, and we need to restore it, right? No, that's not what Republicans want. What is a Republican top concern? What is an American's top concern? Food? No. They got this handled for us. All the genetically modified organisms, GMO food you can get, not to mention a healthy diet of bugs. Folks, let me, bugs are not a nutritious dish. There is nothing delicious and nutritious about bugs. You ever step on a bug? It's kind of juicy. The outside of bugs are not moist. It's just the inside. They've got an exoskeleton, which is a hard protein. Our bodies are not meant to digest disgusting fucking bugs. So we want our freedom and our liberties. That's our main concern. And something that threatens that definitely is war, world war. The other thing that threatens that is un-American principles being shared by the media and by the politicians and by the bureaucrats. Right? MSNBC, folks, they're going to deny the facts. We're very pissed off and concerned. It is a top concern, illegal immigration. But what the media is there for, right, is to offer their agenda, their talking points, and their narratives. And by the way, that's why no one listens to the mainstream media. For the very few Democrats that do, those are the ones that you're going to meet and try and discuss reality with. And they will not have a grasp on reality. I watched one of these people the other day. It was one of these influencers. Let's call them that, influencers. And he was in a large city, and I don't know which city. And he was walking down the street trying to talk to people. And he ended up running into a female lesbian. And she uninvited him because essentially he was a straight man in Gayland. And he tried talking again, and so she screamed in the highest pitch scream she could muster, continuously, like a retarded baboon, like the most obscene blue jay on acid, like a wailing World War II nuclear siren, screaming. That is who these people are. That is the type of person gets their facts, their agenda, their talking points, the narratives from mainstream media. That's why mainstream media is dead, folks. That is exactly why. That's the type of people that appeals to. I guess maybe, we're not really, America's not concerned about illegal immigrants. We're more concerned about what our gender is and how many children can have gender-bending drugs at one time. Unbelievable, folks. It just is. I've got more. I do, but I tell you what, we got to go. It's your turn. It is time for the inner circle. Your questions and thoughts. Let's do it. All righty. Ooman lets me know we've got many, many questions and topics to cover. We've got 30 minutes to get it done in. So I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got a shit pile more myself. So let's get to you guys. Mr. Ooman, who would you like to put up first? And of course, Ooman, I know you've got something to say out there, so don't be afraid to share your own thoughts. Barking Wolf Spider says shelter. Let's go back to the first. I fully agree with your opinions and feel the same frustration as you do, John. You are just better at putting words together than I. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Spider. For some reason, and I'm going to guess it's just luck, just the way world works, odds, putting personalities and the intelligent thought and history and geography together to create who we are as individuals. I just happen to be blessed with the ability to describe things very well. All this despite the fact that I don't like people. I don't like large crowds. I don't like being criticized and scrutinized by others because they can fuck off. But here I am on a daily basis for the last 10 years, putting myself out in front of the world for the express purpose of sharing opinions which are not popular with at least 50% of the world, opening myself up to massive amounts of criticism and also threats. But here I am. I think it's because I am pretty good at putting words and thoughts and ideas together and creating a pretty much smooth stream of thought on concepts. That's why I'm here, and I like it, and I'm glad that you support it. And I've heard for years and years that this one compliment is that I put into words the way people think. The thoughts in their head, they have lots of thoughts, and I just managed to put it in words that they can agree to quite easily. So I thank you very much for the great compliment. And yeah, the frustration we all share is tremendous. If we were so uniform in thought that we could just rise up and in one day take care of our problems, I know we could. The problem is we don't come at that point from all the same perspective. A lot of people have too much to lose. A lot of people haven't lost anything. A lot of people have lost everything. Some people see the direction we're going. Other people are still being convinced of it. But if you took everyone who thinks very similar to us and we just acted, all of our problems would be cured in one fell swoop. We could fix it in one fell swoop, in one decisive day, but we cannot plan that. We cannot execute that. I or anyone else attempting to do that would be arrested and called an insurrectionist. When my stated goal and my effort is to create, or rather facilitate, a restoration of our republic and our rights and constitutional limitations on government, that would be the purpose. Not for me to become some wild-eyed fucking dictator, grow a funny-looking mustache, and try taking over the planet. That's the assholes at the World Economic Forum. And they want you to eat bugs. Don't forget that. All right, thank you, Barking Wolf Spider. Mr. Ooman, where are we going to roll next? Who's Your Life 67 says this. Been missing a hen for about a month. She showed back up with 11 baby chicks. What the fuck does that have to do with SHTF and the world we live in? I'll tell you what, man. As soon as I read that, oh shit, we got more. He says, it surprised me. My flock will be up to 21 and getting 5 to 9 eggs a day now. That's great. It reminded me of the RMZ where I had roosters and then hens, of course. Hens running through the jungle with clutches of chicks on tow. Yeah, the chickens, they'll sounds like your hen got tired of you stealing her eggs and having breakfast. She's like, I need to be a mother. I'll be laying these out in the woods here. So she took off, lays a clutch of eggs, hatches a clutch of chicks. Is it a clutch of eggs or just a clutch of chicks? Whatever it is, you now have a lot more chickens. Now, as soon as you get those baby roosters, separate them, turn them into fryers, and there you go, barbecue hot wings. I'll tell you what, though, eggs, though, are very nutritious, good stuff, good for SHTF. And I believe eggs are going to be a huge barter item in SHTF bad times, whether it's just bad times or hotspots or complete fucking Mad Max. Chickens are going to be it, man. They're a big deal. Okay, if we shall, let us continue. Name redacted, and I love the chicken stuff, man. It's funny. I'm not pissed off. I just thought it was fucking funny. I'm like, what does that have to do with nothing? It's great. It has everything to do with it. Chickens are important. Chickens are currency. Eggs are a form of currency. Name redacted says, John, people so often accept the news guy simply because they're on TV. They are selected, cultivated, and displayed with their script out of view. You know that, but so many remain in the matrix. Well, that's just it. If someone's on TV, they must be important, right? Well, here I am in the Prepared Mind studio, Studio X, because I'm a Gen Xer, Studio X. Right? You're on TV, you must be important. If you're on TV, you must have really good information. In fact, you can have me on your TV. That's right. TVs now hook right into the internet, and you can hook your player right up to this, and I'm on your TV, just like those news guys. That's why I've got this scrolling thing down here at the bottom, right? Preparedmind.club. Be a premium member. I thought about using that scrolling news bar for parody items, but I just found it more convenient to do that. In any event, Mr. Redacted, news people are selected because, well, they appeal to a certain demographic. Let us go back to the 1970s and 80s and even back further. Newsmen, that would be news anchors, were white men age 40 to 70. We get too old, it's not appealing to other people. Walter Cronkite was one of those guys. He spent his career in news and eventually was too old and moved on. So they want him to appeal. If you're in your 20s or 30s, you'll look up to a 40-something-year-old guy. That guy's smart, right? He's on TV. He must be important and powerful. And if you're in your 40s, a news guy that's in his 40s or 50s, you're like, hey, man, I can see what this guy's seeing. And if you're a little older, you're like, those young guys, they're pretty sharp and they work really hard. I used to be that way. So, right, you appeal to a wide range, but it was just white men. Now news anchors are men and women, and they have been. Sometimes it's a news anchor duo. And now we also have minorities. We have women, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. Funny, though, the weather bunnies usually all have large breasts and, wear tight dresses. I call them news bunnies, weather bunnies. Anyways, it's either that or they're fat old white men. I don't know. It's all funny to me. I liked it when Al Roker used to do weather on TV for what was it? Whatever that show was he was on. I don't know. But here's the deal. They are selected to appeal to a particular group. I don't know, maybe Joy Reid of MSNBC with her short blonde hair on a black woman. Maybe she's supposed to appeal to black women and men with short blonde hair. I don't know. But yeah, they have a script. I improvise this entire thing. I've got some news stories lined up, and I just talk about them. You guys put your comments on the screen with Mr. Uman, and I just talk about them. Quite different than having literally a teleprompter with words going by. Toot, 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 toot. That's what the president reads. A fucking teleprompter. Those are someone else's words given to him. Someone else's words. Now, when regular people talk, it gets a little, shall we say, rambunctious. For example, Marjorie Taylor Greene told a news reporter, a field reporter, she said, quote, "Why don't you fuck off?" End quote. That's right, Marge Taylor Greene, Congresswoman from Georgia, verbally smacked down a British reporter because this ridiculous British reporter started playing some games, tried some gotcha ambush interview questions. What she did was she asked Marge Taylor Greene about Jewish space lasers and their effect on California fires. She tried saying this loony fucking reporter. She tried saying that Republicans are a bunch of conspiracy theory minded people. So she asks about Jewish space lasers, directed energy weapons that are controlled by the Jews, and what they did to the California fires. Anyways, that's when Marge Taylor Greene was like, you know what? Why don't you fuck off? And that right there is a little different than reading off a teleprompter. Very interesting stuff. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ooman. Let us continue, if we shall. You guys and your questions. I love it. It just leads me into other things I've heard about today and talked about and I'm curious about. Ooman says, and notice the little wrench next to his name. That means he is a moderator, and that wrench he uses to fix things. So if you got a problem, he'll fix it for you. All right, Ooman. He says, all these people giving out little bits of information, itsy bitsy itsy's, all these little bits, and not going all the way by naming the names are either full of shit or putting themselves in danger to keep the rest of the info from coming out. Where I think this most aptly fits Mr. Uman's comments is with respect to the fighter, Mr. Garcia, who says he was taken and forced right to the ground and forced to watch these child abuse films. Why doesn't he name names? Why doesn't he name the exact location? I would think that once you name the names, the fucking shit is out of the horse and it can't be stuffed back in. I've never even seen anyone try and stuff shit back into a horse. My guess is you'll get kicked off the fucking planet. You can't do it. Put the information out there and let the cards land where they may. Now, the man who had Hunter Biden's laptop, made several copies of the hard drive, gave them out to several people. I think he should have put them on the public web. So yeah, he gave it to Rudy Giuliani. He tried making some hay, and then he got attacked and was sued to death, practically. That information should have been made public. He should have named names. Should have put the pictures out. He should have put the videos out. Same with Tucker fucking Carlson. Tucker the fucker. He had all the January 6th footage from the Capitol Hill, yet he didn't release it. He released what he wanted. The information belongs to us all. In matters criminal, the information becomes public for all, while accepting cases where the judges want to hide and protect people, like everyone on Jizzy Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's list. All those names should have been named. Everybody that went to Little St. James Island, everybody that flew the Lolita Express, everybody that was in her little black book, which I'm sure was not little. It may have been black. It certainly had pages and information on it. Unbelievable. Let's see. Other people who have not named names and end up getting shot down and destroyed. Madison Cawthorn, Republican congressional representative out of North Carolina, I believe, didn't name names. Other congressmen who have threatened to name names don't. And I agree with you, man. They're putting themselves in danger because, well, they haven't said the names yet. I may as well just fucking kill them. Look at all the people. Look at all the people who have been killed that just happen to also be associates of the Clintons. Not that I'm making any connections there. That would be a conspiracy theory. Now, let me say it this way. Perhaps these people that put out a little bit of information, perhaps I'm going to go this direction. They're like, I want to be paid for silencing myself. Give me some money to shut me up. So is it a reverse shakedown? A fucking shakedown to bribe, shakedown to extort money out of these people? Hey, you had me in that room showing me some awful films. Either you give me a couple $1 million or I'm going to go public. That's a good way to get killed. I don't know. These people are crazy, folks. Every last one of them, dangerous and crazy. Dangerous and crazy. In fact, I'm going to give you another example of dangerous and crazy antics behavior at a very high level. Much higher than a fighter, a boxer, a mixed martial artist. Much higher even than, well, Madison Cawthorn. How about the Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, versus the Karl Rove, George W. Bush power cartel in Texas? We have excellent news coming out of Texas, folks. There is a battle for control of Texas politics. I'm calling it the Karl Rove, George W. Bush cartel. And they have backed, the Rove Bush cartel have backed, supported, sponsored rhinos left and right in the state of Texas, from judges to assemblymen to senators at the state level. And I messed up the other day, and thank you, Chin Music, for correcting me. Brandon Herrera is not running against Senator Cornyn, who is a U.S. senator out of Texas versus a state senator within the state of Texas. Always enjoy being fact-checked and given facts to make sure I get the right news out there, the right opinions and thoughts. We need to make sure we direct our humor, sarcasm, and laughter in the right way. Now, back to Texas. Ken Paxton has been endorsing judges, 4 judges in particular. I think 3 out of them have already been declared winners, and I think the 4th one is in the lead, to get good pro-Texas, pro-America, pro-freedom judges seated. And in Texas, in some states, elections of judges, look out. Election of politicians. Ken Paxton, folks, has been with a Republican assembly, a Republican legislature in Texas. They tried impeaching him. That sounds to me like a Republican assembly attacking a Republican attorney general, accusing him of accusing him of crimes, not having any crimes, but just accusing him of crimes and then thinking that's sufficient for an impeachment. That's what the Bush Karl Rove cartel is doing. They're no longer United States politics. They are Texas politics. Unbelievable. And another George Bush. Another George Bush, not George H.W. Bush. He's dead. Not former President George W. Bush, because he's no longer president, but another George Bush they tried putting in office. The same way they're pushing Jeb Bush to continuously push for crap. Now, Attorney General Ken Paxton of Texas told Steve Bannon, right, that ever since he was acquitted in his impeachment trial, I guess, no, he was impeached and they went to trial in the Senate. Since then, he's been recruiting candidates, real Republican candidates, to replace all of the rhinos that are in office. Now, I want to remind everyone about George W. Bush, former president. Do you remember how he kind of loved on and kissed on and was all friendly like with Michael Obama? Like they were high school sweethearts? What the fuck is wrong with that picture, both politically and culturally? And I'm not talking about race, culture, not race, but culture. George W. Bush is supposed to be Texas. Sheehy is a Chicago communist. There is a lot wrong there. Those two families should have never had anything in common, not even the White House. And in hindsight, George W. was a sandbagging New World Order sack of shit. Literally. And the nation chose that sack of shit over sack of shit Gore in 2000. And then over sack of shit John F. Kerry in 2004. So we got the lesser of evils. But folks, they were all New World Order stooges. And even two of them were skull and bonesmen. That's George W. Bush. So Bush now is trying to control Texas's internal politics. Why? Is it so Texas quits fighting the Obama destruction that is orchestrated through the Biden White House and is manifesting itself in open border, destroy America policy? 100 fucking %. That's what George W. Bush is up to. He's trying to put in politicians and judges and all the people they need to continue to fuck us over. Folks, voting does matter, a shit ton. But taking action, talking to the candidates, demanding obedience to the Constitution by writing and calling them and telling them they will be held accountable for violating their oaths. It's important, folks. We are now in the last inning of our republic's existence. If we get Trump in office, we go to extra innings because the war is not over. It's just another battle. And we need to win that battle and win some very, very big battles after that and drive the enemy to the shores and into the water where they drown. They need to be driven off of this continent. All of these rhino Republicans and communist Democrats and New World Order stooges. You and me, you and me, we need to talk to everybody about who to vote for in state elections, folks. It matters. Just ask W how that works. He just had his cartel's ass kicked. And Chin Music, a Texan, says, stay out the bushes. Only thing Sharpton ever said I agree with. Back to work. Bye. Thank you. Stay out the bushes. Yeah, I tell you, Al Sharpton. Wow. Anyways, thank you very much, Mr. Chin Music. Thank you, everyone. We got a few more minutes here on the show. Mr. Uman, where are we going next? We got Uman. He says, hey, if you have to be a U.S.-born citizen to be president, what happens if the VP, Musk, in your scenario, is not, and something happens to Trump? Well, it would seem to me, notwithstanding the fact that Obama never proved he was an American natural born, the fact that they just covered that up with smelly cat shit and made us eat the lies, and then throw anyone who questioned his citizenship in jail, including former sheriffs. Musk, if he were VP and not natural born, I think he would be sidestepped, right? You're disqualified. You go to the next person in the hierarchical level. That would be Speaker of the House, number 3. I think Speaker would go from 3 to number 1, and Elon Musk would stay number 2. That's if anything happened to Trump and my scenario, number 1, that Elon Musk is a potential vice presidential candidate. Now, let me just take you back to 1963. I wasn't alive yet, but I know quite a bit about it. In 1963, Lyndon Baines Johnson, LBJ, Texan LBJ, was vice president. John F. Kennedy, we're going to do the hard things and go to space and then the other things and then some other things. And this is my speech about things with my Connecticut accent or Massachusetts or wherever the fuck he was from. Right? Kennedy, Democrat. Well, I tell you what, LBJ was instrumental, my friends, in the assassination, cover-up, and all the shenanigans in between. for the assassination of JFK and him becoming president. That's right. There was some, you could say, motive. Right? There's your motive. Why would LBJ be part of that? Why would he allow it? Because he gets to become president. Perhaps President Trump knows, well, if Musk can't be president, then there's no incentive for Musk to participate in an assassination conspiracy. And folks, there was a massive assassination conspiracy for John F. Kennedy. Now, there are a lot of similarities between Kennedy and Trump. They both come from wealthy families, a lot of power. They're both powerful speakers, even though, right, President Kennedy liked to talk about things, and we'll do the hard things, like the impossible, like going to the moon in the 1960s. All right, but we're going to leave that one alone. Trump, like Kennedy, has proposed fixing the problems in Washington, D.C. That is what cost Kennedy his life. The banks, the military-industrial complex, the generals, everyone wanted war. And Vietnam was the place to have it. But Kennedy, folks, sad for him, didn't want it. Kennedy pissed off the Cuban exiles because he pulled the plug on going to war in Cuba to fight communism there. Right? The Bay of Pigs fiasco, which was an attempt to start a war by the CIA with Allen Dulles in charge and others without the president's knowledge, consent, or the Congress for that fucking matter, trying to start World War III using CIA, well, shall we say, an army. I hate to use that term, army. It was kind of like an army. It was a bunch of militants. Anyways, the point is that the banks didn't like Kennedy. The Cubans didn't like Kennedy. The mafia. There was a big problem with Kennedy and the mafia. He and his brother, Robert F. Kennedy Sr., were conspiring together in the White House because his brother was Attorney General and Kennedy was the president. They were conspiring to lock up and put away organized crime, the mafia, forever. Whether it was the Italian or the Purple Mafia, the Jewish Mafia, all of them were going to get hammered on. They were being set up. The mafia knew it. The Cubans didn't like it. The CIA didn't want to be disbanded. And for some reason, the Secret Service decided to stand down. Dead, 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 and dead. All right, Mr. Uman, enough of my stuff. Let us continue. Name Redacted said, most Americans only care about the pebble in their shoe and professional sports. That's right, bread and circuses. And if there's any pain that they're feeling, it's the pebble in their shoe and not the firestorm that is about to rain down upon them. Right? Everyone says, well, you're talking about a firestorm, John, shit hitting the fan. All of your hot spots and Mad Max. Most people can't see past their own shoe, a couple of steps in front of them. They can only manage to plan their lives from one paycheck to the next. So how can we expect those people to look further into the future and examine everything and see what's coming? Well, I don't. Those are the people that will be lost, sadly. If they wake up too late, then it's too late. If they wake up in time, good for them. Help people wake up, and hopefully it's in time. Let us continue, if we shall. Mr. Uman, Chinmu says, his jury pool is all Democrats, so he's already guilty. Whose jury pool? Who are we talking about now? Fuck, I missed that. I'm a little punchy still. I didn't sleep real well last night. Whose jury pool? Uman, are you giving me a hand signal?
That would be Trump's jury pool.
Who?
Trump.
Oh, fuck. Well, yes, in New York. Yeah, in Georgia. Well, Georgia's a different story. In fact, Georgia is getting turned around quite a bit. Thank you, Mr. Chin Music. Yeah. If anywhere Trump is brought up on charges, he's guilty right away. And they'll select the venue where that's most likely to occur. There's a big news story today there, Mr. Uman, though. Huge Huge. It's big news for Biden. In American Samoa, Biden lost the primary to Jason Palmer.
I heard
This is
that.
huge. Folks, even Samoans, American Samoa is a U.S. territory. Even Samoans on Super Tuesday, way out in the
They
middle of
voted-
the Pacific, they know not to vote for Biden.
Yeah, and the guy doesn't even live in Samoa. He wasn't even Samoan. He was a white guy who lives in the States.
Yeah, Jason Palmer, white guy. He's on the ballot, and Samoans voted for him. You know what? Someone should have put up a tiki torch, a tiki statue to vote for. He'd have beaten, Biden. Even a chunk of wood is smarter than Biden. Wow. Well, anyways, thank you so much. Oh, man, I'm glad you popped on here for the end of the show. I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Chin Music and all commenters, thank you very much. We're going to check out. Hopefully, I wake up coherent. And I do a 0 Dark 30 tomorrow. I'm feeling much better, much clearer up here. And I want to thank all of you for thinking clearly, being preppers, and helping others wake up and direct them. Wake them up and then tell them to take action and push them down the correct path to being prepared to take care of themselves. Worst case scenario. Semper Fi, Godspeed.